Previously, Liu Fei stepped into the Celestial Sect, defying those who mocked him as trash. He chose his path, mastering fierce techniques and vowing to rise above humiliation. But fate had other plans. On Sunray Mountain, a single misstep places him before Liu Fei, the sect's most untouchable beauty, and its deadliest archer. What begins as a misunderstanding, soon becomes a battle for survival. "I'm sorry, I didn't know someone was in here," said Liu Fei with an apologetic smile. He then got out of the water and recognized the most beautiful female fellow disciple. Liu Fei's expression hadn't changed though, and she still looked furious. Who didn't know this was Liu Fei's training place after all? Who didn't know the Sunray Mountain was Liu Fei's? That pervert had willingly come with the intention of seducing her. Liu Fei really didn't know someone was there though. He put on his clothes at lightning speed and started leaving. "And where do you think you're going?" heard Liu Fei. That was Liu Fei's voice coming from behind him as he was leaving. Liu Fei had said that with a cold and detached voice. Liu Fei turned around and saw Liu Fei holding a bow and an arrow in her hands. "Where do you think?" said Liu Fei, looking at her angrily. He didn't intend to seduce her. It was a mere misunderstanding and nothing more. Also, he had apologized already. She didn't reply. Liu Fei's bewitching body adopted a battle-ready position. She pulled back the arrow placed in the bow in a position ready to shoot. She was ready to let it go. She shot the arrow, which made a whistling sound. The golden arrow broke the air and thrusted towards Liu Fei. How strong! Liu Fei stared at the arrow as it was moving towards him. He had absolutely no hesitation and started his 9 heavy wave technique. At the moment when the arrow approached so near that it was about to reach him, the arrow and the 9 heavy waves collided. The arrow collapsed into the waves, hung up in the air for a few seconds before falling onto the ground. "Do you want to kill me?" said Liu Fei, whose voice was filled with rage. "Yes, so what?" said Liu Fei while pulling out another arrow. An illusory golden arrow suddenly appeared by her side. Liu Fei was shivering out of fear. A sensation of cold spread throughout his body. The illusory arrow was facing him. The illusory arrow was a guided arrow, which meant it could detect if someone was alive and automatically aim at them. The arrow could automatically aim at breathing people. That was one of the particular characteristics and abilities of those who possessed the arrow spirit. The bowstring emitted a noise while the twinkling arrow moved towards him, getting closer and closer. Moonlight feather agility, Liu Fei jumped 10 meters backwards. Liu Fei had sent another wave into which the golden arrow crashed, what looked like an explosion, but that time the wave had for sole effect to slow down the arrow. It didn't stop it. The noise coming out of the collapse was scary and made Liu Fei's heart palpitate. The arrow was going straight towards Liu Fei's forehead. Liu Fei stood out from her Celestial Sect's fellow disciples and was considered to be out of the ordinary, to be an outstanding disciple. She had reached the 9th Qi layer. Using her arrow spirit, her strength could exceed 9,000 Jin. Thus, Liu Fei's 9 heavy waves was obviously not enough to stop her arrow. Liu Fei fell down because of the energy released by the clash of the wave and the arrow. As Liu Fei's arrow spirit could control the arrow, which by the way made the arrow seem alive, she made it turn around and continued to try and kill him. "Ah!" shouted Liu Fei. Suddenly, the twinkling arrow vanished in a bright white light. "I, Liu Fei, will always remember this." The distant voice stupefied Liu Fei. She looked around only to see her arrow cut into 2. Liu Fei had already disappeared from the place. He had left at an amazing speed. "This is the arrow light," whispered Liu Fei. The 2 disciples who had watched the scene all along saw Liu Fei escape. They couldn't help but be seized with terror. Liu Fei surprisingly hadn't killed that piece of trash. Maybe Liu Fei was unwilling to fight and kill him. They had seen Liu Fei's wet clothes stick to her body. They thought about how graceful her body was. She was filled with endless charm. It made them gulp with desire. The only way for them not to drool was to keep their mouth closed. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe for the next episodes. Like and share.